Some of these number one picks became Hall of Famers. Others never played a single down in the NFL, and 3 franchises, the Seahawks, Broncos, and Ravens, have never held the top pick at all. When was your team's most recent number one pick? And if you don't know, you're about to find out, because in this video, we're going through every single team to see how their last number one pick panned out. So we're going to do this alphabetically by team city. So that starts us off with Kyler Murray, drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in 2019. He came out hot, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, throwing for 3,722 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and also running for 544 more yards. He had unreal speed and quickness that made him a nightmare to defend when he was fully healthy.
Murray keeps, shows his speed and slides.
He took another step forward in 2020 and 2021, making the Pro Bowl both seasons and also leading the Cardinals to respectable records of 8-8 and 9-5 as a starter those years. But I think the real downfall of Kyler Murray happened in 2022. In Week 14 against the Patriots, Murray took off to scramble and tore his ACL. For a player as mobile as himself, this was heartbreaking, and not a lot of people can ever fully recover from an injury like that. 2023 was about testing that leg and getting back into playing shape. 2024 was a step in the right direction, but 2025 has been a nightmare. Arizona is one of the worst teams in the league. Kyler is on IR because of a foot injury, and he lost his job to Jacoby Brissett. And worst of all, it's looking like the Cardinals are going to move on from him next season. Now, Kyler had some crazy speed coming out of college, but it was nothing compared to Michael Vick, who was one of the most electric players of all time and for sure the most broken Madden player ever. 2004 was classic Vick. He finished as MVP runner-up after leading the Falcons to an 11-4 record as a starter, and he also ran for 902 yards on the year. Nobody had ever seen a player quite as explosive as him when it came to a running quarterback. Everybody thought that Vick would run the league for years, but he lost his prime years to the dogfighting scandal and served time in federal prison, which was just a huge fall from grace. He did make a comeback with the Eagles and lit up Washington on Monday Night Football. I'm sure a lot of you remember that game. The guy had 333 yards passing, 80 rushing, 6 total touchdowns in a 59-28 blowout. That game right there makes you wonder, what would he have been like if we never missed his prime? After his run with the Eagles came to an end, Vick played with the Jets and the Steelers, but by that point in time, he was in his mid-30s and the magic was gone. Nowadays, he's the head coach of the Norfolk State Spartans football team. The Bills haven't had a top pick in quite some time, but their last guy was Bruce Smith, one of the best defenders ever, the NFL's all-time sack leader with 200. For over a decade, this guy terrorized opposing quarterbacks. He made 11 Pro Bowls, earned 8 first-team All-Pro nods, and played in 4 straight Super Bowls. It would almost be impossible for them to top this pick. The guy was an all-time great who dominated for 19 years. For the sake of keeping this video semi-short, this is all I'm going to include about Smith, but just know he's a legend. And next up, we have Bryce Young, drafted number 1 in 2023. The Panthers were desperately hoping that he would be the answer to their quarterback problem. I wouldn't say he's fully answered their prayers just yet, but he's certainly headed in the right direction. After going 2-14 during his rookie year, many people were ready to write him off as a bust. But towards the end of the 2024 season, Young gave Carolina some hope. Throughout the final 3 games, he threw for 612 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So far in 2025, he's done a good job carrying over that momentum. The Panthers are currently sitting at 6-4 and have a real shot to finish the season positive for the first time since 2017. I don't think the Panthers are a real playoff threat as it currently stands, but with a few more pieces, they certainly could be down the line. 2024 was an interesting year for Caleb Williams. The Hail Mary against the Commanders, the talk with CJ Stroud. One thing stayed consistent for the Bears though, and that was them having a losing record. They finished the year 5-12. And worst of all, it looked like Jaden Daniels stole the show and should have been the real number 1 pick when he won Rookie of the Year. But in 2025, the script has been flipped. Williams already has more wins than his rookie year and leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives with 5 of each throughout 10 games. Williams threw 4 touchdowns in a big Week 3 win over Dallas.
It's picked up. Oh, Williams has a man wide open. He's got it. Touchdown, Atunze.
looked solid versus the Bengals in Week 9 and sealed that Week 10 win over the Giants with a 17-yard touchdown run.
Second down, the fake, a boot, Williams running, Caleb Williams into the end zone!
With the Bears sniffing the playoffs for the first time since 2020 and Williams stepping up his game, the future looks a little brighter in Chicago. The Bengals lucked out big time, landing Joe Burrow with the #1 overall pick in 2020. The only problem so far has been the consistent injuries. After tearing his ACL, MCL, PCL, and meniscus in his rookie year, Burrow led the Bengals all the way to Super Bowl 56 against the Rams in the 2021 season. In 2024, he led the league with 4,918 yards along with 43 touchdowns, and might have won MVP if the Bengals had any sort of defense.
Joey B, that boy's a monster. I mean, I'm just call it what it is. That boy's a monster.
But like I said, injuries have been a big issue. Right now, he's trying to recover from turf toe. He's already won Comeback Player of the Year twice and could be in the running for a third after missing most of the 2025 season. This next guy up completely reinvented himself on a new team, because in 2018, the Browns had their second shot at taking a guy #1 overall in back-to-back years, and this time around, they chose Baker Mayfield. Baker did all he could to turn Cleveland's franchise around, but after a few years, things fell apart. It's crazy to think at one point after leaving the Browns, Baker was there running scout team defense for the Panthers. The career-defining moment for Baker was when he was a part of the Los Angeles Rams. They were up against the Raiders in a Thursday night game that was meaningless to some, but not Mayfield. With the game on the line late in the fourth quarter, he led a 98-yard drive to give the Rams the win. The rest was history. Baker landed a starting job with the Bucs in 2023 and has been one of the most exciting players in the league ever since. For the Cowboys, we have to go back to 1991. They traded for the #1 pick, aiming to grab Rocket Ismail, but took Russell Maryland when Ismail signed with the CFL. Although they didn't land the guy they were hoping for, Maryland turned out to be a blessing in disguise. He was a two-time champ in college, won 3 Super Bowls with Dallas, and made the Pro Bowl in 1993. Maryland was a 300-pound run stuffer who was a true leader. You know how they say the best ability is availability? Well, he started 140 of a possible 154 games in his career and always was putting in maximum effort. Then we jump to 2009. Matthew Stafford played through the Lions' worst years, but was tough as nails and had a rocket for an arm. He won Comeback Player of the Year in 2011 after having surgery for an AC joint separation. That year, he threw for over 5,000 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and led the Lions to a 10-6 record and their first playoff appearance since 1999. As for Stafford, though, once he made his way out of Detroit, he experienced what he deserved, a Super Bowl victory with the Rams. And now, at age 37, he's having maybe his best season ever, with a career-high passer rating. He's a legit MVP candidate, and right now he has 27 touchdown passes to just 2 interceptions. Rich Eisen said this season might seal his Hall of Fame case, and when he's playing like this, it's hard to disagree with him. Then we've got the Packers all the way back in 1959. They picked Randy Duncan, a star quarterback at Iowa, but he chose to play in the CFL and later the AFL. He never suited up for Green Bay. The crazy thing is Vince Lombardi was hired just 2 months after that draft, so Duncan narrowly missed out on being a huge part of history. Jadeveon Clowney was one of the most hyped up defensive prospects ever. His career with Houston started out rough though. He tore his meniscus during his rookie year and missed all but 4 games. 2015 was mainly about him getting a feel for the NFL and recovering from that injury, but 2016 is when he started playing great. For 3 straight years, Clowney made the Pro Bowl, combining for 158 tackles, 24.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. And because of that 3-year stretch, you can't really say he's a bust, but he's never had more than 10 sacks in a season. And I know sacks aren't everything, but it sure does add some value when you can get to the quarterback. He's now played for 7 different teams in 12 years, and the fact that teams keep on calling says everything about how freakish of an athlete he really is. In 2012, the Colts had their most recent pick with Andrew Luck. He was seen as a generational prospect out of Stanford. and he made an immediate impact, setting rookie passing records and leading a 2-14 team to an 11-5 season in the playoffs the very next year. He followed that up with back-to-back AFC South division titles, and everybody thought he would be a staple in the league for years to come.
Part of what makes him great is he has the ability to stand tall in the pocket, take hits, and throw the ball, but then he also has the speed and the agility to get outside the pocket and run on his own if he has to.
The Colts could have easily been right up there with the Chiefs battling for the AFC title every year, but injuries piled up and his body just couldn't hold up. He retired just as he was hitting his prime, basically because the Colts could not protect him. Then in 2024, he returned to Stanford as the team's general manager. Alright, hopping to 2022, this draft class was pretty weak at the top, which meant the Jags were in a tough spot. They picked Travon Walker, who's a freak athlete, and he just won the national title with Georgia. For a while, it looked like a reach.
I don't see the quickness outside. I don't see the hand usage. I don't see that. So I don't see one-on-one domination to be the number one pick overall. And I went back to the history books and I looked at the guys that went high. They triple, quadruple the numbers, Scott, in terms of those finishing numbers.
His size and speed made him a top pick, but the production took time. After a slow rookie year, he posted back-to-back 10-sack seasons and improved against the run. And in 2025, he's off to a solid start, so despite the media criticism, this pick isn't looking so bad after all. 2013 was another one of those weird draft classes where you almost didn't want the top pick. So the Chiefs picked Eric Fisher because at least he was a safe option. He made 2 Pro Bowls towards the end of his time with Kansas City, then spent 2021 with the Colts and landed on the Dolphins in 2022, but never played for Miami. Fisher did exactly what the Chiefs drafted him to do: protect the quarterback well and open up running lanes. He even got himself a ring after they won Super Bowl 54, so I would say his career was pretty great compared to most. Next, we're heading to 2016 when the Rams picked Jared Goff. He had a rough start as a rookie, going 0-7 as a starter, but followed that up by leading the Rams to 2 straight NFC West championships, along with 2 straight Pro Bowl appearances. They even made it to Super Bowl 53 against the Patriots, but their offense was stopped dead in its tracks as they could only muster up 3 points the entire game. After 2 more seasons of playing good but not bringing LA home a Super Bowl, the Rams traded him for Matthew Stafford, a deal that worked for both sides. Since joining the Lions, Goff's played like a top-tier quarterback. They made it to the playoffs in 2023 and 2024 and look strong again this year. With the Rams, he never really felt like that guy, and I do have to say, it feels like Goff needs to get the job done soon or else his time might be up. Up to this point in his career, he has over 37,500 passing yards, over 240 touchdown passes, and has made the Pro Bowl 4 times. Jake Long, on the other hand, was elite right from the start, with 4 straight Pro Bowls to start his career with the Dolphins. Injuries slowed him down late in his run with Miami, then he joined the Rams in free agency, but 2 torn ACLs there changed everything. He retired in 2017, and in 2024, he was inducted into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. Another thing I have to give Long props for is that he is down more than 70 pounds in the last couple of years, and it's hard to even recognize this guy anymore. Now this one might surprise a lot of you guys, but the Vikings haven't actually picked first since 1968. They took Ron Yari, who became one of the best offensive linemen ever. He was first-team All-Pro 6 straight years from 1971 to 1976, made 7 Pro Bowls, and was on the All-1970s team. The guy was a lock for the Hall of Fame. He played 14 seasons with the Vikings and 1 with the Rams, and only missed 2 games due to injury his entire time in Minnesota. The Patriots have been so dominant for so long that you have to go back to 1993 for their last shot at the top pick, and they chose Drew Bledsoe, who, to be fair, ended a 7-year playoff drought, leading them to 4 postseason trips, 2 division titles, and a Super Bowl 31 appearance. In 1994, he led the league with 4,555 passing yards, but also 27 picks. He was never truly elite, finishing with a 77.1 career passer rating, but he got the job done. Unfortunately, he's best remembered for getting injured and being replaced by Tom Brady in the 2001 season.
Bledsoe gonna run it. Needs 10 yards. Oh, does he hit?
After being replaced by Brady, he was traded to Buffalo in 2002 and then spent 2 years with the Cowboys in 2005 and 2006. At the time of his retirement, Bledsoe finished with 44,611 passing yards, 251 touchdowns, and 206 interceptions. All right, hopping back to 1981, we've got the Saints, who chose George Rogers. This guy won the Heisman during his final year at South Carolina and exploded as a rookie with 1,674 rushing yards, 1,800 yards from scrimmage, and 13 touchdowns. He made first-team All-Pro and won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had 3 more seasons over 1,000 scrimmage yards, led the league with 18 touchdowns in 1986, and won a Super Bowl with Washington in 1987, but injuries eventually caught up to him. Rodgers also struggled to stay away from the blow, which you could say contributed to his decline. At the time of his retirement, he had 7,544 total yards from scrimmage and scored 54 touchdowns. 16 years before that, the Giants had their most recent pick. He made the Pro Bowl as a fullback with the Giants during his rookie year, playing 6 seasons for them before a knee injury forced his retirement in 1971. He had 3,220 yards from scrimmage and 17 total touchdowns. He was also inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1994. Then there's Keyshawn Johnson, who the Jets picked in 1996. He played 11 seasons, made 3 Pro Bowls, and had 4 1,000-yard seasons. He even won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in that 2002 season. But when you go first overall as a wide receiver, people were hoping that he would be some insane talent. What the Jets got was good production. But Keyshawn is probably a good example of why teams haven't drafted a #1 overall receiver since then. After retiring in 2007, he went into TV work with ESPN and also has appeared on Undisputed. As for the Raiders' last shot at the #1 pick, nobody's forgetting this one anytime soon. Jamarcus Russell had all the physical abilities you could ever want, but the complete opposite in character. Most of us have heard about the blank tape story, I'm sure, but if you're new to the NFL or NFL content, I'm going to catch you up really quickly. While Russell was with the Raiders, they were beginning to realize that his attitude might be slightly concerning, specifically his laziness. So they decided to give him a blank DVD with plays on it to see if he would actually watch it. To keep the story short, he didn't, and then he lied to them about it. That was all the Raiders needed to hear. The guy was arguably the biggest bust of all time. He finished with 4,083 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions. And then we have the defending Super Bowl champs and the team that hasn't picked first since 1949, the Philadelphia Eagles. And Chuck Bednarik might just be one of the most impressive players of all time. I mean, just look at this. He was a linebacker and center who played college football for Penn. When the Eagles drafted him, he played all 14 seasons of his career with them. And during that time, he made 8 Pro Bowls, was first-team All-Pro 6 times, won 2 championships, and made the All-1950s team. But the thing is, he actually played offensive line and defense, and made All-Pro at both positions. His biggest play was probably in the 1960 NFL Championship game. Bednarik played both ways and was literally on the field for 58 minutes. Then on the final play, he saved the game.
Short pass to Jim Taylor. Taylor brings the crowd to its feet as he nearly gets loose, but Chuck Bednarik grabs him on the 10, and that's the end of the line.
He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1967, his first year of eligibility, and the College Football Hall of Fame in 1969. When the NFL did their 100th anniversary team, he was on it, and he was also ranked number 35 in NFL Network's top 100 players of all time. But that's not even the craziest thing about this guy, because he did all of this after serving in World War II at age 20 with 30 combat missions over Nazi Germany. I mean, how do you possibly top that? Up next is the Steelers. In 1970, they picked Terry Bradshaw, and that obviously worked out pretty well. He won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years and was the first quarterback to get 3 titles and obviously eventually 4. He had a huge arm. What really made him awesome to watch was how he took things to the next level in the postseason. His regular season passer rating was 70.9, but it jumped up to 83.0 in the playoffs. The best example is that 1978 season where he won MVP. He had 790 yards and 8 touchdowns in the postseason with a 104.1 passer rating, compared to his 84.7 that he had in the regular season. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1989 and has co-hosted Fox NFL Sunday since 1994. You've got to feel sorry for the Chargers because their last number 1 pick was 2004, and they only had this guy for about 45 minutes. Yeah, we're talking about Eli Manning. This guy was just one of the weirdest quarterbacks in NFL history. He had a 50% win percentage in the regular season and led the league in picks 3 different times, but went 8-4 in the postseason with 2 iconic Super Bowl wins over the Patriots. He wasn't always great, but in big moments, he pulled off some ridiculous throws. I don't know if he's going to make the Hall of Fame or not. I mean, he probably will. Eli retired with over 57,000 passing yards, 366 touchdowns, and 4 Pro Bowl appearances to his name, along with 2 Super Bowl rings and the title of Tom Brady's dad. Now you can find him co-hosting the Manning Cast with his brother Peyton on Monday nights. Next up is 2005, and this was one of the most memorable drafts of all time thanks to Aaron Rodgers falling hard. Sadly, Alex Smith did not live up to the hype of a number 1 pick, and being in the same draft as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever didn't exactly help him out. But he eventually turned things around in San Francisco, and especially in Kansas City, where he made 3 Pro Bowls in 5 seasons. Probably his most impressive accomplishment was coming back from that brutal leg injury to win Comeback Player of the Year in 2020 with Washington.
Amputation at one point was a possibility, and now 693 days later, here he is coming back on an NFL football field.
Smith finished up his career with 35,650 passing yards, 199 touchdowns, and 109 interceptions. Did somebody say interceptions? Sorry, Jameis, I just had to do it to you. Winston went 1st overall in 2015 to the Buccaneers, and he is known for his iconic 33 touchdown, 30 interception season in 2019. Jameis is a team leader and a super likable guy, but he doesn't always make the best decisions. Over the course of his career, he hasn't really found a consistent home because of that. I'll tell you one thing though, he is not afraid to sling the ball around to his receivers. Over the course of his career, he's racked up over 24,000 yards so far and is currently serving as the backup for the Giants. He made the Pro Bowl as a rookie and also came in 2nd place for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but since then, no awards. Not exactly what you want to see from a number 1 overall pick, but still a ton of fun to root for and watch nonetheless. Now for the most recent team to pick first, the Titans. And before this, they hadn't picked first since Earl Campbell in 1978. Let's just say that pick worked out pretty well. Fast forward to 2025 and they took Cam Ward. It's only been a half a season so far, but it's not been great. Through 10 games, the Titans are 1-9, and Ward's thrown just 6 touchdowns with a passer rating in the low 70s. But it's still early. Quarterbacks usually need some time. Just look at guys like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. Even Josh Allen had a 67.9 passer rating as a rookie. Fingers crossed Ward is going to figure it out like those other guys. The problem right now is the Titans are currently the worst team in the league with no signs of improvement. Then to cap things off, we have one of the saddest stories in draft history. Ernie Davis was a Heisman winning halfback at Syracuse and was the first African-American player to ever win the award. He wore number 44 just like Jim Brown and broke Brown's records for rushing yards, all-purpose yardage, and scoring in college. Washington took him 1st overall in 1962, then traded him to Cleveland. But that same year, he was diagnosed with leukemia and passed away at just 23 years old, without ever playing an NFL game. It's crazy to think that he would have shared a backfield with Jim Brown. So there you guys have it. That's what happened to every team's last number 1 overall draft pick. If you enjoyed this video, as always, drop a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Check out this video right here. I am sure you will enjoy it.